He played at Duke. But the good news is he played with LeBron. That part we all like. Dahntay Jones joining us. I am not anti-Duke. McIntyre, are you anti-Duke?
Love Duke.
So do I.
Cameron Indoor is a beautiful place.
And everybody bangs on Duke, by the way. That's a lot of jealousy, right?
They don't like you when you're on top.
That's what I think.
They want you to fail a little bit. So
I like
I'm
Duke.
fine with it.
I've always liked Duke. So I want to go to this thing. We could talk about a lot of different stuff. But so LeBron plays Toronto tonight. LeBronto. We call him now. He's so in their head, we call him LeBronto.
Yeah.
I don't think Cleveland will – not that they won't give their best effort, but you've been with a traveling circus known as LeBron James. Not that they take their foot off the pedal, but they win the important games in the East. I feel like tonight Toronto, if not just a winner, could roll them a little.
I think going in, the goal was to get one and get the first one because that's the easiest one to get in the series. You come out, punch them in the face early, you can steal home court advantage back. If they win tonight, it's because Toronto didn't come out to play. Like they're just frustrated. They're mentally not prepared to win this series. But I think this is a game that Toronto can come back and win. And I think Cleveland, I want to say that they got the game that they needed to get and wanted to get. So this game is just like, we're going to play as hard as we can. We're going to try to, but it's going to be a tough atmosphere to win this game.
You know, it's interesting because urgency matters a lot. And this is just the way the world works. Tonight for Toronto, I mean, in the offices of the Toronto Raptors, this is a franchise game.
Right. You can get swept if you don't get tonight.
You know, if you don't win tonight, and by the way, now do you have to remanufacture the whole team? Like it ain't outside of the coach and DeRozan. So for them, the urgency for Toronto tonight is everything.
It's tonight.
Listen, LeBron just played Indiana, and every important game they won, and then they mailed a couple in and played like, you know what. I want to go to this, though. I find it funny and I think, like, you went to Duke, so there's a built-in animosity about Duke. It's just the way it is.
But I had the same animosity, too, before.
You didn't like him?
When I transferred, because I transferred from Rutgers University,
yeah.
Before I went, Duke recruited me, and they went through my father and my AAU coach. And I was going to look at Carolina, Arizona, Cincinnati, Georgia Tech. These were the schools that I had in my mind as a 19, 20-year-old kid. This is where I'm going to go to school. Okay. And when Duke called, my dad was like, "You're taking that visit." And I said, "No, I'm not." Like, just as a rebellious young man,
you're one of those.
I'm not taking it. I don't like Duke. I don't like K. I don't like all these things. Just for like the perception of what I thought I would like.
But
my dad made me go. And when I took the visit, there was no other school for me than that. Like, just getting a chance to sit there and talk to Kay and see what the school's about and see why they perform and how they perform the way they do and the chip he has on his shoulder.
So why did you resent them?
Because of the public perception. And mind you, I understand all the hate. Like, it's an elitist hate of just being successful. Sometimes we hate the Yankees. We hated the Lakers. We hate the Cowboys.
Nobody hates the Raptors.
No.
Nobody hates the Charlotte Hornets.
We root for them.
Right. We hate who we can't be.
Right.
Largely. So my point is, you have been in that fishbowl of, like, the world's looking at you and the cameras are on Duke. You were also in a professional fishbowl with LeBron. And in my heart, I believe LeBron would love to stay in Cleveland, but LeBron's a smart businessman and knows the reality of, we got this roster, we don't have a lot of room, and this is what I'm stuck with, and I'm not doing 2 more years of this stuff. I deeply believe LeBron thinks that. I don't, not just because I'm here, but the LA thing, I hear all these media members and how good would it make them. Let me get this straight. So LeBron and Paul George are going to join Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, and a very good young coach, Luke Walton.
Jason Hart.
Who's that?
Josh Hart, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he had a great rookie year. And they're not going to be the second or third best team in the league? Like, I mean, it's somebody that's played with LeBron. What does LeBron think? I mean, how would he not? I hear this. Well, the Lakers with LeBron would be, what? Look at this roster in Cleveland right now.
Anytime you add LeBron James to a group of energetic basketball players who love to play the game and compete and can shoot, they're dangerous. Like that Laker lineup that you just gave with Brandon Ingram, who we don't know what he's going to be, but we know that he's going to be something special because right now he's at the beginning of his career.
He's averaging 16 and a half, second year in the league. He's a 22-year-old
by
kid.
himself without somebody better than him. That is dangerous. And if you add Paul George and LeBron James to help him grow in the right direction, to give him an example to work with and to show him what he needs to do to be great, that's something that you have to consider at a high level. With the city of Los Angeles, who has a president who has direction, who has always been successful in anything he's done.
Magic, yeah.
Like that, I don't understand how you turn that down, or that's not a top priority of yours to go and consider.
Yeah, this is interesting with Paul George. I'm not here to blame, Westbrook. I've made my opinion known that I think he's a dynamic talent, but difficult to play with, and sometimes a little bit of a head case. But be that as it may. There is something, I'm hearing a lot of this too, Dahntay. Well, Paul George had an off year. And I'm like, not really. He had a horrible playoff game to end the season. How do you view Paul George?
I view Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and Carmelo Anthony in a bad offensive scheme for them. I told you this before, and Steven Jackson said it to you either yesterday or the day before, that their offense is not for them. And Michael Jordan didn't win championships until who came in town? Phil Jackson, who had the direction as a leader and an offensive scheme that matched the talent they had on their roster. You can't just, I think those are surface level conversations when we say, oh, give me this player and we'll win. No, give me this player and match him up with this scheme that works for him, and then we have a chance to win. But if you get a player and the wrong scheme, if you get LeBron James, he's running the Princeton offense, that wasn't good. But if you got a coach that could help him do the things he does better and give him the spacing and the control and the offensive system to make him productive, you have championships. You have the ability to be in finals. You don't have finals without the right scheme for the personnel.
It's just funny. The thing I've worried about, would LeBron overwhelm the young Laker players? Just overwhelm the room? No,
because what I've seen from them is that they're hungry for direction. They want to learn, and they want to learn from somebody. So they look up to him. And if you have him on a daily basis, I think he takes your defenses down with whatever he brings, his persona, the bravado that he has when you're playing against him. That comes down, and you understand you're more like him, but you get to see how he works at what he does. It's not just God-given. It's God-given talent, but it's a work ethic along with it. So I don't think he would overwhelm them at all. No.
So Ben Simmons, who I find fascinating in the Celtics battle tonight, when I go kind of hyperbolic on Ben Simmons, where I just said, God doesn't make 6'10" point guards. He's long, he's strong, he's sinewy. He's actually, for a rookie, a pretty good defensive player. I think the kid's amazing. I don't know how many titles he gets, if he gets any titles. Some of it's health, some of it's trade, some of it's coaching. I think Philadelphia has a chance to win tonight, even though it's in Boston. What do you make of Simmons? And again, take yourself back to your rookie year in the NBA. I'm blown away by him. Are you?
I'm blown away by his ability. But as we have to give credit, as we're speaking along these lines, Brett Brown, for having the wherewithal to put him at point rather than put him at small forward, which everyone else would have done. He looked at his player and he said, you know what? You're better at this than what basketball tells us that you have to be. You're 6'10". You should be a power forward or a small forward, but you can pass better than anybody else on our roster. You see the floor. You make us more dangerous when we have 6'10" at our point guard spot, and now we can switch everything. Like, he had enough basketball knowledge and he trusted his basketball instincts to put him at point guard. And then that's when you see the progression of Ben Simmons. But if he put him at small forward, we wouldn't see the Ben Simmons that we see now.
Well, let me tell you something, man. What if you had to guard him? I'm sorry.
You got to put a point guard on him. So you have to change everything you do naturally when he's on the court.
Thank you, Dahntay. He forces you. This is what makes Russell Wilson, the quarterback, dangerous. Right. Oh, God, he can run. He can throw. Ben Simmons makes you rig your defense. You have to do different stuff you don't do against any other team. You can't put a small point guard on Ben Simmons.
Right.
I mean, I think he's a matchup nightmare. Dahntay Jones, 13 years in the league, a former Dookie. By the way, were classes hard at Dookie?
Yes. Anytime, please, come on, at Dookie.
At Duke. I mean, like, how hard?
Listen, what kind of hard? You're held accountable. So the basketball staff and the academic staff work hand in hand. So you're in classes with 8 people sometimes, and
they check on you?
Every day, 6'6", because you have to do the work. There's an entrance exam that you have to pass to get into the university, and you have to be able to do the work. We spent most of our time in study hall to be able to catch us up and make sure we're online to do the work.
Coach K would stick his nose in the room and go,
no, we have a basketball academic
Dahntay.
staff. Mike Schraggy was the guy that was on my
and he
back
would literally
every
check
day.
the rooms.
He would literally, not the rooms, like before you get to the rooms.
He was outside the room.
That's what our staff made us, to help us prepare to do the work. Like,
You think everybody does that?
I don't. All I know is what they do. I can't speak for
You
everybody
think they do that
else.
at Carolina?
I don't think so, but hey, more power to them.
Dahntay Jones, good seeing you.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.